Hello friends and welcome back. Today we're going to study verbs. And I took this page out of the book so we can take a look at it. This is the word here, a verb. Isn't that a weird word, verb? But verbs are action words. Okay, right now I am speaking. Right now I am pointing. I can point or I am pointing. I can speak or I am speaking. Sometimes these words are just the straight up word, speak, and sometimes they have the word ing on them. But both of those words are actions. I can speak with my mouth right now. Right now I am speaking. Okay, two separate sentences, both using the word speak, another using, one using the word speak and then the other one using the word speaking. But they are action words. Okay, when we're talking about verbs, is an action word that tells what someone or something does. Okay? Now, often when we're talking about verbs, we can talk about people or animals. Okay? A dog can bark, a cat can meow, a duck can quack. Okay, quack would be the action word, bark would be the action word, meow would be the action word. So often we're talking about human beings or animals when we're talking about verbs. But it doesn't have to be that. The engine on the car is running. The engine on the car can run. Okay, so it's an engine of a car. It's a physical thing. It's not a person. It's not an animal. It's an engine, but it can run, or the engine could be running. So do you see when they say here, it's what someone or something does. So let's look at the examples here. We wash our hands. Okay, that would be one version of that word, of that verb. We wash our hands. Okay, we can say the children are washing their hands. Their hands. Okay, and I will underline our verb in orange. We wash our hands. The children are washing their hands. That is the action word in that sentence. Okay, we know hands and children and hands here, we know those would all be nouns, right? Because they're a person, a place, or a thing. That's a noun. That's a noun. That's a noun. So children and hands. Children are a person or people. Hands are also a noun because they're a thing. Okay, so let's do another sentence. Ready? I walk to school. I walk to school. Walk to school. Now, what would be the verb here? And what would be the noun? What's this word here? Is that a verb or a noun? You're right. That is a verb. I'm going to underline. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing the verbs in orange. So that's the verb. Okay, and what would this be here? School. Is school a verb? Is it an action? Is it an action word? No. It's a place, isn't it? So that would be a noun. Okay. Remember we said sometimes these verbs can have a just a straight up word, walk, that's the base word, or I am walking home. And if you're writing these sentences, you just sometimes have to know what sounds better there, what sounds right. You would not say I am walk home. You would say I am walking home. That is still the verb. We're going to underline that. And for this one, you wouldn't say I walking to school. You say I walk to school, right? So that would be the verb in that sentence. And in this case, what would be the noun in this sentence? That's right, you have it. It's that word, home. Home. Because home is a place. So we're studying verbs today, but we're also thinking about nouns, all right, when we're looking at sentences. And as we learn adjectives, we'll be learning those on Monday. We're going to write sentences where I want us to identify the verb, the noun, and the adjective of that word. And I know how to make this sentence an adjective. Maybe you know how to make it an adjective too. I'd have to add a word to that. Maybe you can think about that. Maybe you know an adjective is a descriptive word, which is a way to describe something. But I'm not going to do adjectives yet because I don't want us to get too confused. So you have quite a bit of stuff you can learn on, did I say learn on? Work on when it comes to verbs. Okay, I'm going to send you this action verbs labeling set where you label each picture using the word bank. This is a word bank here. So you have to look at the image and right here, what does it look like she's doing? Is it paint? Is it swim? Is it blow? Is it brush? Is it wash? Is it write? Is it build? Is it cut? Is it crawl? The correct one for here would be cut. She is cutting a piece of paper. All right. So there are 2 pages on that. Action verbs labeling set number 1 and action verbs labeling set number 2. And then here's a verb sort. All right, where you cut these words out and you say these 5 words, whatever, 5 of these are verbs. The other 5 are not verbs. Okay, so if you identify one of these words as a noun, like I'm just going to point out one of these that I know is a noun. A dog is a noun. It's not an action. A dog is not an action. The dog is running. The word running would be an action. But dog is a person, a place, or a thing. So that would actually be a noun, and we put that under not a verb. Okay, grab. If I'm going to grab something, I'm going to grab this eraser and hold it in my hand. That's an action, right? I'm reaching over to grab that. Okay, that is an action. That would be a verb, and that would go under verbs. You have a couple of pages you can work on with that. And I think did I send you this finding verb set? Oh, I don't think I sent you that. I sent you this boxing up verbs set. So you have to take the verb here and complete the sentence. So you'd have to say Rick blank his bike to school. Well, what do you do with your bike? What do you do with your bike? You ride it, don't you? Okay, so Rick, and again, that would have to be plural. Rick ride his bike to school? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound right. Rick rides his bike to school. That makes sense. My suggestion is when you're doing these word banks, lightly cross out the word that you've already used. After you've already written it in the sentence, cross it out so you don't get confused, and keep looking at the same words over and over again that you've already used, because if you used it once, you're not going to use it again on these types of sheets. Okay, and then there's one more, boxing up verbs set 2. So we have a good amount of work there to do on verbs. There's actually 6 sheets of verb stuff to work on. Okay, you can do some of it today on Thursday, and you could also do some of it tomorrow on Friday on a catch-up day. If you don't get to all of it, it's O-O-K. All right, or O-O-K. What does that mean? A-OK. It's A-OK. We're going to start working on adjectives on Monday. And it would be important that we, kind of round out our year, that we're really solid. We understand what nouns are, we understand what verbs are, and we understand what adjectives are. And then we know how to identify them in sentences. Okay, that would be the last, or some of the last things we're going to do next week. All right, to kind of round out our year. So have fun with this. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. I'm your teacher. I will help you out. So good to see you today for Read Aloud. And I will see you tomorrow for Read Aloud as well. I'll see you soon. Take care.